Greetings, I am Galea.
Susie, welcome.
It is my honor and my pleasure to be invited back this day, or any day, for you know I am Communications Officer, also assigned to Intergalactic Council, on special assignment also with planetary systems of Earth, of Gaia, connecting not only with our beings on the ground but with many humans as well. It is true that there are many challenges and much change that is occurring upon your planet at this time, and for some of you, you may think of it as a cleansing. Our perception of it is a process, not only of ascension, but of becoming. You have a saying on Earth, upon sweet Gaia, that the truth will win out, that the truth will prevail. For us, this is not simply a saying but how we live. It is not merely a belief system. It is a fundamental truth, a fact, upon which our existence has been built. And it is one of the things that we bring, and yes, it is reflected in our structures, in our technologies, in our institutions, if you can even think of it that way. The truth is cherished, and this is true of Gaians as well. Increasingly, none of you want to hear lies or bear witness to untruth or deviation or hostility or anger. There is an entire list of the old paradigms that is being, and needs to be, put to rest. For us right now on ships throughout the fleets, it is a time of celebration. There are many happy occasions and we celebrate each and every one of them. Some are small, some are massive and large. But you, dearest Suzanne, have noted this, and I bring all of your attention to this. Not only give yourself credit for what you have accomplished in any given moment, in any given day, throughout the Mother's new time, celebrate. Celebrate your victories, celebrate what you know you have done well, individually, collectively, small group, big group, it matters not. When you are celebrating, when you are acknowledging, when you are reinforcing such positive, magnificent behaviors, patterns that are emerging, what you are doing is also anchoring them. Now, you will note, no one, above, below or with us in between, celebrates devastation, no one celebrates war and mayhem and murder and chaos. Do we acknowledge it at times, that it is necessary and a process? Yes. But think of it in this way, when you have a child and that child is ill and sick, and because of that they are running an outrageously high fever and they are ill, perhaps vomiting or sweating, and you are nervous, you do not celebrate that the child has a fever. But what you do celebrate or give a quiet prayer of thanksgiving is when the fever breaks, and when the fever has completely passed and the child is bright-eyed and wanting to play again. You celebrate. You may not create a party, but you celebrate. You mark it with gratitude and thanksgiving. And if it is the child's birthday the following week, you celebrate again and to yourself you say, thank God. My beloved friends, let me be very clear that I am in no way calling you or the collective of Gaia children in terms of immaturity or lack of experience, wisdom, knowledge, spirituality. But in another way, are we not all children of the Mother? Are we not all one? And have you, each and every one of you, not been experiencing this sense of fever, of displacement, of exhaustion, of lethargy, and you wonder to yourself, am I losing my mind? Am I losing my body, because I have very little vim and vigor, vitality? You have been in the accelerated fever of change and that fever is breaking. And we might say you have sweated out a great deal of what was poison. And yes, many of you, and we are glad, many of you have used the healing chambers and the healing ships, and the violet flame, and the silver and the gold and the copper and the blue. There is no flame that is not magnificent and giving a sacred purpose. So yes, we have several occasions throughout the fleet that we are celebrating right now. Some we will speak of, some we will not. But let us be very clear, we are celebrating our union with you. Very often, this show is used to deliver messages to all upon Gaia, and the vibration and frequency goes out and it serves great purpose. But this day as your sister, as Galea, I also want to congratulate you and celebrate you, because that is vitally important in celebration. So you have need to be celebrated because you have endured, yes, you have struggled, your tests of trust and faith and endurance have been strong. And yet, you have continued to proceed, not only with compassion for others and your sweet self, but also with passion for what is and what lies ahead. And that is important because passion is part of the fuel. In many ways, passion is the ignition switch of love. If you do not feel passionate about something, undertaking something, doing something, whether it is brushing your hair or going to the market or changing the world, then why on earth or any other planet would you do it? That would never be our guidance. When we came, and there were many different voyages and migrations, but think about what we have done, and I only speak of myself and my family who have traveled from distant galaxies, from CCC. But we came, we made that voyage of thousands of years in what you think of as time because we were passionate. There was never a ho-hum moment. We were passionate not only about serving the Mother, but over the moon, and the many moons, about assisting this planet in ascension, about having beings in form that were truly beings of love, of light, and creating a planet of love. The passion drove us, the love fuels us, the truth supports us, but it is all one thing. So part of my message this day, and I think a good place to start, is to celebrate your beloved, sacred selves. So dearest Suzanne, what do you choose to celebrate this day?
Oh, my goodness. I could celebrate my life and the way that it turned out. I'm celebrating gratitude because I really understand the power of it, and how gratitude and trust really have made my life what it is. It's not perfect and there's lots of things that you know what? Material things haven't changed but the inside has changed immensely, and I'm very happy about that. That's what I celebrate.
When the internal landscape changes, the external has no choice, by the way, except to follow and reflect. It is a misconception for any being to think that when the external changes, that it will shift your internal landscape. It is the other way around. And so you have all done extraordinarily, magnificently well in trusting. We celebrate the fact that you have trusted us. We have several million, many million beings upon your planet now in every corner, whether it is a very busy metropolis or a very sleepy little village, we are present. And what has been wondrous to us is the way in which we have been welcomed and accepted and supported and integrated. Now, you know in the beginning, well, I say the beginning but I only mean last year, that there were some difficulties with the vibratory match of some of our beings, our forces upon the ground, because of the, well, old paradigms. And many of our beings were needing to return home and circulate through some healing and reattunement. But that dissonance has mostly been remedied.
Oh, really?
Yes. Even in the most, what you would think of as discordant cities, that is not what we are finding. Now, it is true, we do not seek out those who are in the midst of the chaos. We seek out like-hearted, like-minded, supportive individuals and groups that are welcoming us, consciously and unconsciously, and we don't care really which it is. But we are being welcomed. And that drain, our energetic drain of being upon Gaia and intermingling, shall we say, beginning our integration with the humans, that technical glitch, sweet angels, has been remedied.
That is excellent news.
We are celebrating.
Wow, so happy. And what you were speaking to before, I'm grateful for the clarity to really understand what's true and what's going on and what's important, because I'm not sure that I had that however many years ago. And it's interesting because it's hard to know what I didn't choose to know.
Exactly, because you don't know what you don't know, do you? But when I have begun, and I have said that we hold truth as a pillar, and that is what you are also, all of you, anchoring, and that has been part of the Mother's expansion and her gifts of clarity and purity and grace. But the clarity was an essential piece even before the expansion of other qualities. So now, what you are observing and participating, but also observing, you know what does not feel like truth from the essence of the clarity of your being. And it is actually very simple. The litmus test that we use is, does it feel like love? Is this going to contribute to the collective? Or, is it merely a distraction?
Okay, good. Can I ask you a question then?
Yes.
The US presidential election is so not of love, it's so completely ridiculous, it's hard to even. I'm not embroiled or paying attention to it at all, and I haven't watched the debates and I just couldn't stomach doing that, but what in God's name is going on?
It is the clearing of the old paradigms, it is the clearing. We have in our fleets and systems leaders that are deeply not only honored but revered. Leadership is not the use of power or control. In fact, in terms of that spectrum you spoke of, it is far along the line of humility, gratitude, service. And yes, to be a steward is to be a way shower. That is the paradigm, the model that is being seeded, planted, not by us as aliens. This is the intergalactic way, but it is the way of the mother, it is the way of love, it is the way of peace and cooperation and creation and building. So what you are witnessing is a very sad situation, regardless of your political beliefs and leanings. To be a leader on a global level, on a national or a country level or on a commonwealth level, is a sacred trust. Now think of this, and we will use the example of the United States of America. But what people are doing in the system that you have developed is, as a citizen, whether it is of a nation or of a planet, you are saying, I trust this person to hold stewardship, to hold, to practice, to embody, to show the way with the highest ideals, with the highest principles of love and truth and peace and humility and clarity and purity and grace. That is what you are saying when you elect somebody. You are entrusting them in many ways with your life. And that is particularly true because of the nature of the economies that are in unfoldment and change, of weaponry and war, of the transition things that are in place. So do not minimize it. You are entrusting these individuals with your life. You are entrusting these individuals with the life of your family and your children.
Okay, but they're not worthy of that. You've spoken of the mother's new time. I'm just wondering how long until cleanup is complete, because this stuff has to be cleaned up.
But what you are doing is cleaning it up, because when you bring it back to that very basic question, is this who you would trust with your life?
No.
So who is? And we don't mean names, but there are many, many wonderful souls. Not everyone is power hungry, and we aren't creating the situation. We do not wish to be misinterpreted that something is black or white, because it is not. And as we have said, they are playing magnificent roles, and that is part of the shift and decision making. You are seeking the highest common denominator, not the lowest common denominator.
Can we expect some major changes before the election, which is less than a month away?
We are not jerry-rigging or interfering, let me be clear about this, in your electoral process. We are catching bombs, we are continuing to work with the Mother and her legions with containment, we are influencing all light workers upon the planet and working in cooperation with them. Do we pray and work, and diligently work, that there will be a shift? Yes. If not before, then after, because, dearest hearts, let us tell you, and I would speak on behalf of the entire Council, for this intergalactic council, on this matter, change it must.
I thank you, Yoda, that's funny. I just feel like gratitude is the way out of pretty much anything, as we were talking about the importance of what we pay attention to. I know I can get a little bit hot and heavy paying attention to the US politics, but, at the same time, it's really important to be the observer and go into trust mode.
And to focus on what you desire to create. There has been, and there is ongoing, a great deal of destruction of the old paradigms, enough that they are crumbling even as we speak. As you focus on the new, on the clarity and purity, on the love, what you are doing is sweeping away the debris and erecting the new. And that is what we are doing as well, and that is what many of our allies, both on the planet and here with us, are also doing. So it is not that nothing is happening, in fact, it has been an enormously busy time.
I'm sure it has. Can you say any more specific things about what you guys have been up to? I know there's a lot, and maybe it would help the weaving of all us together to know a little bit more. Can you say more?
We have 3 areas that are of the utmost importance. The first, of course, is peace, and within that is the cessation of murderous war, killing. Because it is nigh impossible to focus on the true meaning of peace, and this is Michael's, of course, and we are all in alignment, but it is very difficult for people to focus on deep inner peace and outer peace if there are missiles being exploded in your neighborhood. Now, part of that is the devastating effects that this physical war, and there are many on your planet, we aren't just talking about one place, the devastating effect that these wars have had of people living in situations that are beyond imaginable, or returning to homes or neighborhoods that are simply rubble, or attempting to flee in something that is no more stable than a life raft and having nowhere to go. So we have been working diligently, yes, catching bombs, not all of them, obviously, intervening. The archangels are working with ISIS, and that is how it needs to be. You may send peaceful thoughts and prayers but do not engage. So that is our first thing that we are working on. Now, in some situations, terrible devastation has occurred and has not been prevented by us, so that humanity can awaken to the brutality of slaughter. This is beyond abhorrent to us. It makes us sick, literally. There is very little that makes us sick, but these situations make us sick. So, in terms of how we focus, there is a great deal of rotation because for any individual to attend to this situation for long makes us physically, interdimensionally, ill. That has been one of our primary aspects. Our second area of focus has been on the reorganization of what you think of as societal, economic structures. And we will just leave it at that. And the third area has been literally the integration of massive populating of this planet, not with any intent or agenda of taking control, but simply of harmonizing our energies with yours. Just the same way, my friends, as you will walk into a room and you will beam the light, you will hold the light, you will be the light of love, and without saying a word, the energy of that room changes. That is what we are doing, and at the same time, we are also planting technology. There are many new discoveries in the forefront.
Wow. I will speak for myself and all of our listeners and many, many more to say we are in gratitude for all that you do, for your presence here and for the integration of our cultures. There's so much to look forward to and I really appreciate that. Is there anything you have in closing?
I wish to say thank you. It has been some time since I have been invited and I am so pleased to be with you this day and every day, and to celebrate each and every one of you, beloved friends. Celebrate your victories, they are many. Go with our love and go in peace. Farewell.